in future is going to be, sensor technology. You all has to understand this. So how is going to give impact in terms of education, in terms of usability? Okay, so when we talk about digitalization, we are constantly moving with connected network, which is like we have wearable mobile devices. How these devices been enhanced. If you look at it, 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G. Now we already talking about 5G. So I would like to ask everyone. So do anyone has been have gone through any training for this? No, not at all. It's like a user friendly. You just start using the technology. We are the users of technology. We are not creating any new technology here. We are using it. As long as you are using it, you understand how it can give impact in HR and also whole process in organization. That's good enough. And you can have 100% results oriented within a few seconds, even using a data analytics and big data AI into the in advance. So most of the universities are doing that, especially when we are now going through a pandemic. 100% is, if you ask me, that not 99%. Everyone would like to go online learning and teaching experience, and also they want to go ahead and understand that what do you mean by the digitalization, why we require in place, because everyone has to go online classes and there are tutorials, and they need to know understand the technology, how it's going to give impact to the future, and it's become a part of their curriculum. So in future, I'm sure the people who already, they're already planning it, what we call it as 2020 and 2025 and 2030. So now they started implementing in advance because of the pandemic, because now things are moving, making us to move very faster than what we planned earlier. So this is how most of the institutions and students are also well prepared for that. You won't believe most of the students, even they can log in classes mobile based. So this is how flexible the teaching and learning is taking place. So the technology in place, they already on the edge of learning as they go on daily life. It's a part of it. For example, like no one cannot survive, or maybe without their mobile phone. Everyone has to chat, everyone has to go ahead with music, and everyone has to go ahead with YouTube and communication channels. They have their own, and Facebook. So similar to that, the technology is making them to also understand, like a digital library, going online and accessing things, and understanding how technology is working for them, and coming up their own TikToks, and they have their own videos. They can create their own videos and upload to the stream. So this is how, who is giving them knowledge on this? So no one else. I mean, it's there. It's like the application itself is teaching them, and it's become a part of it. So when it's become a part of it, and people are living with that. So now everyone is asking, I mean, talking about the new technology, new phones, and 5G, how they're going to use it. And every 6 months, in phone industry, if you look at Samsung or iPhone, they're upgrading the new versions, and they know everything about it, how the processor works, how the cloud-based, connectivity, how they can go ahead with understand in the information, and also news channels. So everything that have been happening there. Even the IoT is going to be user friendly in future. You don't require it all. For example, now in the airports, you have the scanner, now QR codes. You scan the QR code, your details will be stored into HR system, or sorry, healthcare system. And every day healthcare bulletin they're releasing at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock evening, they are doing a data analytics training. They need to set their mindset to adopt whatever changes happening in technology. For example, I'll give you a very simple example is how we are moving from 2G to 3G. Are we being trained? No one has been trained. When we are using 3G to 4G and 5G, we are talking a smartphone. Someone is going to get a gift from iPhone, do he is going through any training session for iPhone, how he can use the apps? Not at all. He has to go through himself. He download, he will go through here, he will go there. Why in HR systems, Of course, even though we provide training, sometimes they don't want to look into very seriously. So this is one of the biggest question, as time goes on, how we are adopting ourselves, looking at the Western and other countries. I'm sure we will adopt ourselves. I'm sure we are already adopting such a level and where we already understand how it works. Obviously, we need to go ahead with that, as Inche Nazid has explained about a mobile-based. If as per latest analytics by the big five firms, and the big four firms has been done, conducted survey. They have mentioned that cloud-based mobile cloud is going to be a future, which is going to be 40 to 50%. People agree in that. So investment is going to be boom up in that, and security in cybersecurity level and IoT based is a 5 or 7%, which is going to be total 60 to 70% is going to be in mobile based. So as Inche Nazid and Inche Leslie has explained about future is going to be mobile based. Why can't we have a more mobile based and more user friendly atmosphere where they can have insurance, where they can just click if they are not well, go to the clinic, just show that, and the immediately HR will be updated, and they will get the records, and they know exactly what happened to the patient, and they have the list of how many sick leaves has been taken and deducted, and whether contract permanent, everything will be calculated. There are things which are already in place. If you can see that mobile based, apps. There are so many mobile based apps which is free actually, as long as you connect it to your ISP, internet service provider, which has high speed of internet, and you can have your chat, you can have a video calls, you can have a conferences, as Inche and Najib and Nazid and Leslie has mentioned earlier. They can have their own apps, or can create, come up with the HR and as well as the management system, which can link to their server. So most of the servers now they have been cloud based. It will be a cloud-based server, so they can connect to that and using their mobile apps, they can have those sessions. Even they can be any place, any part of the in Malaysia if they're having sessions. So they can set the schedule, and they can meet up their deadlines. It's very easy. One way, and the other way is like they can also have AI and BI connected to data analytics, and they can use the apps from the third party. There are free apps also available, and they can download. That's called freeware, and they can use those things. And as long as they can be connected, when we're talking about the cloud, there are three types. One is public and private and hybrid. So as long as they have public, it's a free actually. And when it comes to the hybrid and private, they'll be paying for how much they're going to use for the cloud. So it's already there. Most of the organizations already going with that. Even the schools, because of the pandemic, they already transform themselves into a different way. I can see there is a question how it's going to be. So same thing. I know when it comes to the HR management and their policies, as long as you set the policies in place, and whether it's a pandemic or non-pandemic, they'll be following the same system. And you can see the productivity. The product end of the day is the productivity. So be seeing somebody will be there in the 24 hours. Same goes to the apps when they use it. Technology, the free apps are freeware. So most of the apps are free actually. I'm sure even we're having a Zoom, we're having a WhatsApp video calls, and they have been upgraded. Most of things are free actually. So as long as you have a high internet connection, ISP, whether it's a Maxis or Celcom, any other provider, the 4G or 5G in place. So you will really enjoy with that, and it's like more user friendly, and everyone can be trained in that way. And you can see that, for example, I can give you example of Coursera. Most of us know about it. Universities from US, UK, Australia. You will be sitting somewhere, and you can register yourself, and you can get certifications, as long as it's theory based sessions and all. Practical, there are certain things practically also you can show into that freeware and free technology apps. In future, when Mr. Leslie has mentioned that in Japan and Germany, they are already talking about Industry 5.0. 5.0 is nothing about IoT. And when you're coming back to the industrial, what do you call, 5.0, which is called IIoT, Industrial Internet of Things. So which has been basically the sensors will be working with the gadgets and the robotics, which is and talking to the machines, and you will getting the live data to the server through the server, maybe in the cloud or client server, to the person who is holding a mobile. So he can monitor whether he is in Malaysia or any part of the world. He will know exactly what's happening there. So this is how it's going to give more. And in future, it's going to be the cars, your smart homes, and whatever gadgets you are going to, your pressure, blood pressure sensors, and even your anything, your body sensors, many sensors they are going to use it. Even when you go for Tesco or just for buying some of the items, you will have the sensor base, and you don't require any cashier to be placed there. The moment you have your trolley, the basket, and whatever items you are taking it, the sensor will tell you exactly manufacturing date and expiry date and what amount. And also it will also explain to you, you have your debit card holds 1,000 ringgit, and don't exceed the 1,000 ringgit of your purchase here today. So this is how the moment you walk out, it will be deducted from your wallet. So it's already there in place. For example, now in Singapore, when you drive through Singapore, you don't require, they don't have any payment systems, toll gate systems. It's automatically will be deducted back to the census. Anything, any technology, any gadget, anything which we are using, it will always will have vibration and side effects to our human cells. And also it is very dangerous. Survey has been done by the from US and UK based scientists, especially when they do the tests in labs, and they have done the humans with machines, how it's going to give impact. What we are talking about now, the green technology, we will have to go to the green and all these. We are going back again when we talking about these gadgets and sensors. Of course, each sensor, each gadget, whatever we are using, they are already having kind of vibration and kind of frequency. It definitely will affect not only for our brain cells, in the other part of our body cells. And also it will really happens, it's happening, and it is also in the long term, a long way of looking into the health system. It's going to be numerous health problems may be face, especially psychological effects. I know people already start facing it right now, especially in children, when they start using and addicted of gaming. Before, when we used to be in childhood, we used to go out and sweat ourselves out and we play. I'm sure how many children right now is not having that kind of environment. They're just sitting at the house, and our parents are very happy. Look at my son and daughter. They are very much technically. They know how to use the handphone. They are, with a great impact and a great smile. They are telling everyone, but they are not understanding. They are losing a lot of things which they are not supposed to. The age of 8 and 10. This is how this is going to be impact in future, and the technology, as you say, that 5.0 is going to be that. And again, when we talking about HR, attitude, how the system is going to evaluate the attitude of an employee. Honestly, it's not the intelligence all about. It's the attitude of an employee that makes the employee to be more loyal and towards the organization, where you're looking for attitude, a positive attitude employees, where they can work for the organization. Most of the organization is become more in higher levels now, if you look at it. But it's not all based of technology and intelligence. But when you put, I mean, keeping in mind analytics and all these, I don't think so. Any HR system can come up with analytics of attitude based. Only they can have a general opinion whether you are getting angry, you are okay, you are not fine, you're taking too many sick leaves. But when in terms of other ethical issues and attitude, it's very tough to evaluate and measure in terms of HR, how he can be given to the grade A, grade B, or grade C. This is a very good point. I would like to say here, if you look at the Western countries, Europe and US based companies, when they have HR policies in place, they have their job description, and most of them they just go with that job description. When look at our ASEAN countries, And what happens? Your job description is in place, but the person will be doing the multiple tasks. He will be doing the more and more multiple tasks because the higher level management will be expecting more job to be done while they are in interview time. Whatever they given job description won't be followed by exactly. So this is what's happening. If you survey, look at the survey, even your
Yep.
technology in place, but this particular gentleman will be doing a more job. I'm talking in terms of employees, even whatever we have in place in technology. So do the technology really will go ahead with SOP? What is JD is supposed to? No, not at all. If you look at in Malaysia, especially, I don't want to talk about other countries, ASEAN countries, especially not, I'm talking about comparing with Western and US based. Why other countries can be best, can produce directors and managers? Why can't we can produce it? Even we produce a handful of people. I know this is where we can say we expect from our employees more than what the job description is being described in while they're interviewing. So this is what happens. Even you all go to any restaurants, you can see the same person will be cleaning, same person will be serving, same person will be cooking, same person will be taking the cash. That means he's a cashier, he's a server, he is a cleaner. So this is how it is going to be. So how is going to be? This is really going to give a great impact for the HR in terms of policies and process. So once the policies and processes are not in the right place, even you keep a technology in place, how it's going to go with hand to hand? Very simple. It's very tough, very tough. So they have to understand the education, the all top level to the all level of management need to understand how the JD should work, how the SOP should work. Then they talk about the technology, what level they can use, what level they should not use at all this technology. This is how the organization will grow. Obviously, definitely it will grow. For example, look at the big companies like Microsoft, big companies like Intel Corporation, big companies like Oracle Corporation, big companies like Google, Yahoo, Amazon. Why they are big? Because of how they set the rules and regulations in place intact with the technology and looking at welfare of the employees. That's most important here.